So the Amazon. Everyone says you have to see it. A life-changing experience, they chirp. Usually that's code for profoundly uncomfortable. And probably very, very buggy. The kind of bugs that have seen things. The kind that don't flinch. But here we are. Someone's gotta document the slow, simmering end of things, right? Or at least get some decent footage before the whole place is a parking lot. Or a very large, very sad cattle ranch. This is why we travel, isn't it? To feel slightly superior about our impending doom. They sell you a dream, don't they? Postcards of emerald canopies, sun-dappled rivers, maybe a toucan posing just so. My reality, humidity that hits you like a wet blanket. A very, very heavy, possibly diseased wet blanket. And the constant nagging feeling that something is watching you. Something with too many legs, or no legs at all. But hey, adventure. That's the brochure talking. The brochure conveniently forgets to mention the existential dread, or the sheer unadulterated boredom between moments of sheer terror. You pack your sensible khaki, your industrial strength repellent. You try to look like you know what you're doing. Like Indiana Jones if Indy had a bad back and a healthy skepticism for anything that promises authentic. Most of us are just trying to find a decent Wi-Fi signal, let's be honest. They call it the lungs of the planet, a bit dramatic maybe, but then you get here, and it's just green, so much green, an aggressive, unapologetic, endless green. It swallows the sky, it swallows the sound, it probably swallows a few unlucky tourists each year too, but nobody talks about that. Bad for business. The air is thick, you can chew it, and it tastes like damp earth, blooming flowers, and a hint of something rotting. Delightful. Truly. Paradise? Sure, if your idea of paradise involves constant sweating and mud. So much mud. It gets everywhere. In your boots, in your soul. It's a souvenir you don't ask for, but always receive. The sounds are a symphony, they say. A symphony of things that want to bite you, sting you, or lay eggs under your skin. Cicadas buzz like tiny angry chainsaws. Monkeys howl like tortured souls. Birds. Well, some birds sound pretty. I'll give them that. But mostly it's a soundtrack for a low-budget horror film. The sheer scale of it is overwhelming. You stand at the edge of a river so wide it looks like a muddy ocean, and you realize you're just a speck, an insignificant, probably quite tasty speck. The wildlife. Ah yes, the main attraction for many. Pink river dolphins, so pink, so dolphin-y. They look like they've been dipped in Pepto-Bismol, cute in a slightly unsettling way. Then there are the monkeys, dozens of species, all of them seemingly dedicated to thievery. And throwing things, mostly at tourists. It's their local sport, I think. Keeps them entertained, keeps us on our toes. Or ducking for cover. Jaguars, the supermodels of the jungle, sleek, beautiful, and utterly indifferent to your existence. Unless you look like an easy meal, then maybe they'll show some interest. You probably won't see one. They're masters of camouflage, which is good for them, and frankly for your continued well-being. What you will see are birds. So many birds. Macaws like flying rainbows, Hoatzins that look like punk rock chickens, and smell faintly of manure. Charming. Let's not forget the smaller stuff. The things that really run this place. Ants, armies of them, marching with a purpose you'll never understand. Spiders the size of your hand, or your face if you're unlucky. Snakes, oh the snakes, every color, every pattern, some beautiful, some deadly, most you just don't want to meet in a dark alley. The Amazon River, it's not just a river, it's a moving continent of water, brown mostly, silty, carrying half a rainforest out to sea. It's the main highway, the lifeline, the everything. People live by it, travel on it, fish in it, probably bathe in it, though I wouldn't recommend it after a heavy rain, or ever really. You don't know what's down there, and frankly you probably don't want to. Ignorance is bliss, especially when caimans are involved. The sheer size of it messes with your head. You can be on a boat for days, and see nothing but water and trees. And more water. And more trees. It's hypnotic. And a little bit maddening. The sunsets, though, they can be spectacular. When the pollution from distant burning isn't too bad, then it's just a hazy orange smudge. A reminder that even out here you can't escape the reach of, well, us. That's a cheerful thought for the evening. Villages cling to its banks. Houses on stilts. Ready for the flood. Because the river gives. And the river takes away. Mostly water levels, but sometimes, you know, belongings, livelihoods. Section 5. Local flavor, beyond the tourist menu. The people here, they're a study in resilience, living in a place that could kill you in a dozen different ways before breakfast. And yet, they smile. They share. They have a quiet dignity. It's almost annoying how well-adjusted they seem compared to us, with our anxieties and our organic kale smoothies. They've got real problems like jaguars eating their chickens or the river flooding their homes. We've got Wi-Fi issues. Perspective, right? Their connection to the forest is something we've mostly forgotten or paved over. They know the plants, the animals, the rhythms of the seasons, things we read about in books or watch on documentaries. For them, it's just life. It's not romantic, it's practical. Section 6. Getting around. A masterclass in patience and swearing. Forget your GPS. Forget your meticulously planned itineraries. The Amazon runs on its own time. Amazon time, they call it. Which means things happen when they happen, or not at all. Buses leave when they're full, not when the schedule says. Boats depart when the captain feels like it, or when he's found enough passengers, or when the tide is right, or when the moon is in the 7th house. Who knows? You just wait. The roads, where they exist, are an adventure in themselves. Potholes that could swallow a small car, mudslides that can cut you off for days, dust that coats everything in a fine red film. It's a chiropractor's dream, and a passenger's nightmare. You learn to brace yourself. You learn to appreciate the moments when you're actually moving forward, even if it's at a snail's pace. Progress is progress, even if it feels like punishment. Flying is an option. If you like small planes and dubious landing strips, it's faster, sure, but you miss everything on the ground. Section 7, our daily bread, what to eat when everything can eat you, food in the Amazon. It's an experience. You'll eat things you can't pronounce, things you can't identify, things you might not want to identify. But when in Rome, right? Or in this case, when in a remote jungle village, miles from the nearest supermarket, you eat what's available, and you try to be grateful, even if it looks like something that crawled out of a science fiction movie. And it might have fish, obviously, lots of fish, grilled over an open fire, stewed with mysterious herbs and vegetables. Sometimes it's delicious, fresh, flavorful. Other times it's bony, and a bit muddy tasting. Depends on the fish, depends on the cook, depends on how hungry you are. After a long day of sweating and swatting bugs, pretty much anything tastes good, or at least edible. Mostly. Then there's yuca, manioc, cassava, whatever you call it. It's the potato of the Amazon, boiled, fried, toasted into a coarse flour called farofa, which they put on everything. It's starchy, it's filling, it's there, always there. You'll also find exotic fruits, some sweet, some sour, some that look like medieval weapons. Section 8, the incredible shrinking forest progress, they call it. So let's talk about the elephant in the room, or rather, the lack of trees where the room used to be. Deforestation. It's a gentle word, isn't it? Sounds almost hygienic, like tidying up. What it really means is chainsaws, bulldozers, fire, lots of fire. You can see the smoke from miles away. A hazy reminder of our relentless, insatiable appetite. For what? Cheap beef, soybeans, timber, progress, I guess. They say it's for development, for jobs, for feeding the world, noble goals on paper. But when you see a vast swath of smoldering wasteland where a vibrant forest once stood, it's hard to feel optimistic. It's hard to see the progress. All you see is loss. A scar on the face of the planet, a very, very big scar. And it's getting bigger every day. While we sip our lattes and discuss recycling, the irony is thicker than the jungle canopy used to be. The scale of it is staggering. Football fields disappearing every minute, or some such statistic. The numbers are so big, they become meaningless, abstract, until you're there, until you talk to the people whose lives depend on the forest, the indigenous communities, the small farmers. Section 9, so long, farewell, auf Wiedersehen, adieu, to the trees, probably. So, what's the takeaway? From this green, sweaty, occasionally terrifying, often beautiful mess, the Amazon is amazing. Obviously, it's also in deep, deep trouble, thanks to us, our cleverness, our ambition, our inability to leave well enough alone. We're like toddlers with a very complex, very fragile toy, and we're not playing nice, not at all. We seem determined to break it, just to see what's inside. Preservation efforts? Sure, they exist, dedicated people, working hard, against incredible odds, against apathy, against greed. It's a tough fight, like trying to put out a forest fire with a squirt gun. While other people are busy pouring gasoline on it, you have to admire their optimism or question their sanity, probably a bit of both. But someone has to try, right? Even if it feels like shouting into a hurricane, maybe a trip here changes you, makes you think, makes you care, or maybe you just go home with some cool photos. And A renewed appreciation for air conditioning and bug-free environments? It's hard to say. People are complicated. We want to save the planet, but we also want cheap flights.